Okay, here we go. Nostalgiacon Day 2. Next panel up is Disney. And man, we got some legends today. So I hope that you're ready for them. So what do you say? And without any further delay, we start bringing up our guests today. So first up, we got Jason Marsden. Give it up.
I'm new. I've never been in public before.
He's got it. He's got it. Okay, next up we got Bill Farmer. Welcome, welcome. Hello. And last but definitely not least, we got Bret Iwan. Come on in. Welcome everybody. Make yourself comfortable. There's that one. This has a footrest, you know.
As requested, I get the sensor.
Exactly.
Yes.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
All right.
Gotta make sure is that good? All right.
I'm old.
Yeah. There you can trade. Yeah, that's okay. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here at Nostalgiacon.
Thanks for having us.
How has been San Antonio so far?
Oh, it's amazing. I love coming back here. As I was telling a lot of people, I had a short-lived marriage, my first marriage, and we got married here. So at the courthouse, Justice of the Peace, long time ago, and so good memories for that time.
There you go.
We lived in Dallas.
We'll go
We
with
came
that.
down here. We wanted to go to a party town, so we came to San Antonio.
There you go.
And yeah, it was a lot of good memories in San Antonio.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. How about Joe? Have you all gone out exploring?
Yeah, I got out this morning. I did the touristy thing. I went and saw the Alamo for the first time.
Of course.
Inside the Alamo, I did that.
Yeah, there you
Done some shopping. I'm gonna head back and get a custom cowboy hat on my way out of
Wow,
town. I may need
perfect.
a new one. I do wear them, believe it or not. So I need to go get a new one.
Ears?
Yeah.
Do they have ears?
I don't know. Well, it's customizable, so maybe. We'll see.
My girlfriend and I got here on Thursday and walked around in the heat. It was great. And then we saw the Alamo. My girlfriend's a big Pee-wee fan, so we had to visit. Yes. And then had dinner at Zoco's over on the Riverwalk. Some of the best pasta I ever had.
Nice.
And then went to Rosario's last night. Some of the best food I've ever had here in San Antonio.
Never had a bad.
That's awesome. That's what we like to hear. So, I mean, there's only so many questions that I can ask. You guys are pretty much legends. You've been asked, so many stuff already. So let's start off with that. How does it feel to be, in such iconic roles, loved by the fans for so many years, being part of something as great as the Disney family is? What's sort of like your best takeaway from that?
Kick us off, Mickey.
Well said. These roles, being a part of really anything at the Disney organization is iconic, and there's such a great legacy behind it. And so it's hard not to have a blast with whatever you do.
Right.
Specifically voicing characters like we all have the privilege to do. There's such a love for these characters and of the TV shows or the movies or the parks or the rides or whatever they've been in.
Sure.
For myself, I just feel like such a big fan along with everyone else. Like when I get to do it, I'm just so excited about whatever the new product or project is
Right.
for Mickey. And so I love it, and I try to find the joy in every single project I do, but the importance of it is not lost on me. I feel very honored and privileged to be a part of it.
Yeah, to me it's grown over the years. I lived in Dallas at the time, and trying to get into acting, and an agent up there said, well, with all the voices you do, you got to give it a shot in Hollywood. I moved out to Hollywood about 5 months later. Out of the blue, they said, do you do any of the Disney characters? And Goofy was my favorite one from when I was a kid. And they gave me a cassette of the original voice, Pinto Colvig, and I had to go home over one weekend and learn this, laid it down at my agent, and as I found out much later, out of about 1,000 people that tried out, they liked mine. And you'd think you'd go and celebrate and all of this. No, because it's for one job. If you screwed that up, you might not get a second chance. And so I was kind of I'm not going to get too excited yet. Then about a month and a half later, they called me for another one, and then another one, and now 37 years, they're still calling me.
Yeah.
So I think I got through it. But it wasn't for about 10 years until I really started to learn the gravity of what this all meant and how important it was. And especially with cons like this, where you hear stories, great stories from people how these characters have changed their life and everything.
Absolutely.
And have been so important in their lives. I now take it much more seriously than I did for 20 years.
You're phoning it in for the first 10 years?
Yeah,
You can hear it.
How much
When you listen back, you can
You
hear
look
it.
early Goofy shorts, you can tell. No. I've always been a fan, like moving to California from Rhode Island. Never thought in my wildest dreams I'd live in like Hollywood. Visiting the theme park for the first time blew my mind, and I was instantly hooked. Drank the Kool-Aid, and then fell into this business, and then lo and behold, like now I'm Goofy's son, for crying out loud. Like how much closer can you get in the zeitgeist? I do not take it for granted. It's amazing. It's so much fun. I love working with Bill, getting to know him, solidifying the friendship. Love Brett. I mean, it's all one big happy family.
It really is.
Right?
It is. It's true. It's actually very true. The first time I met Jason, he walked into a session and he said, "Welcome to the family." Do you remember? Like, that's literally what
I was
she
like,
said.
I gotta see the new guy. Who's the new guy?
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. It really is like a family. Unlike any other studio that I've worked with, this group of actors have become more of a family than just actors and people that I work with. It's really amazing.
It's awesome, but I mean, I'm sure there is a side that's a little bit nerve-wracking, like stepping in, some big shoes, right? Some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Continuing a legacy, of course. Can you tell us a little bit about that when you first knew that you were gonna be Mickey, right? The face of Disney. How did that go?
Yeah, it is. It's extremely nerve-wracking. I think it's important. Like I mentioned, I was a fan, so I knew how important Mickey was to me, and then you can make the assumption of how important he is to everyone else, but also how important he is to the company.
Absolutely.
And Disney is notorious for demanding quality and ensuring quality and consistency within their characters, specifically with their character voices. They have a whole department dedicated to that, to make sure that when you go to the theme park and you hear Mickey, he sounds like the Mickey you're watching on TV.
Right,
He sounds like the Mickey that you're having, the toy, the talking toy, or the video game or whatnot. So it was extremely intimidating. I'm a huge Walt Disney fan in particular. I have been since I was really little. And so to think of doing or performing a role that he himself originated was already crazy enough. But when they offered me the job, kind of like Bill said, it doesn't, and I even heard my predecessor, Wayne Allwine, was the official voice of Mickey for 32 years. And I heard him in an interview say once, there wasn't trumpets. He almost expected there was going to be like this big fanfare, like, "It's now you're like American Idol, you're Mickey, confetti." There wasn't that. It was basically like, "We'd like you to be the guy, and you're going to have to upend your life and move out to LA, and okay, cool, ready to go." That was pretty much it.
Gotcha.
And it was very uneventful for me in the beginning. I was living in my aunt and uncle's camping trailer. I worked once, and then I waited 2 more months and worked again, and then so there's a learning curve associated with all of it, but there's also the assumed, impact of all this. So it's just a very surreal experience. And I keep using this word, but I just feel very fortunate to be able to do it. It felt that way then, and I feel that way now.
Exactly. I mean, coming like you said, right, making that transition from a huge fan, right, into actually making this happen, being part of the magic. That's got to be incredible.
Yeah, and one thing that I've learned over the years is like we all have these dreams, right, or these goals that we want to achieve. But everyone talks about pursuing them and all the hard work to get there, but no one really talks about once you've gotten there.
How
you got to find a new game. How do you maintain it, and what's your new dream?
Very
what's
true.
your new goal? And so, for a Disney fan to achieve that, and then you sit there and you go, "Okay, now what?" Which is kind of great.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is a good
How do
problem.
you keep the quality going? That's the main thing.
Yeah.
You want to be as good as your last job, and you don't want to mess up or anything like that. So that still is pressure, but because it's kind of a unique situation to be in, but it's a fun one. It's a blast.
You talk about, a lot of people think that, you know, you get cast in these roles, especially if you're working for Disney, you're a Disney employee, but you're not. We're still considered freelance. You know, there's no, like I said, no confetti, you know, nothing like that. We're hired hands. Luckily, you guys are so good at it, they can't find anyone else, you know?
There you go. Yeah, true testament. I mean, to be doing it as long as you guys have, and as long as you will keep doing it, right? I mean, that speaks volumes to your talent and to your dedication. Right. Somebody, you guys a piece of wood? No? Okay. So speaking of that, Jason, you've done obviously, you know, voice work, but you've also done directing, right? So can you tell us a little bit, you know, how you shifted, you know, into that role, you know, from being, I guess, the person receiving some of the directions, right, to the one actually giving it and making sure that everything's on track and all that kind of stuff?
Well, it's all ego. It's like, how can I tell people what they can do for a change? It's just, I've always been fascinated with this industry. I love filmmaking, love filmmakers and storytelling, and it was just something I thought I had an aptitude for. And I did like, I'm still that you brought that up because I haven't done a lot of directing of just like music videos here and there, but it's fun. It's like to me, it's kind of like throwing a party. It's like you invite people over, you have someone who's in charge of like food, in charge of like the music over there, and you try to create a great environment, kind of like how you guys are doing with this. It's a great experience with the wrestling and the music and and all that. You want to create a good experience, and I think that's what, you know, the job of being a director is. Yeah.
I like that. That's good. That's good. All right, so we have a few minutes left here for the panel, and we are going to open it up to questions, okay? There is a mic over there. There is a line already in the sake so that everybody can ask their question. We're gonna keep it to one question per person, okay? So make sure that you formulate the question, you're ready to go once it's your time up to the mic. So, how you doing?
Hi.
What's going on?
Going great. I was curious, for those of you that were involved with it, how was it working on the anniversary short, Once Upon a Studio?
That was a lot of fun. I was very pleased when I found out Goofy was going to be the one taking the picture, and of course falling off the ladder and all that kind of stuff. I was amazed, and I am friends with Eric Goldberg, who was the animator of the genie in Aladdin, and he was in charge of all the 2D animation in this cartoon. And knowing that it was in his hands, I knew it would be a quality thing. I think there's like 200 to 400 characters in that. About every character that Disney's ever done has showed up in that particular cartoon. And it's a nice tribute. It's a great tribute. But again, it's one of the, we do so many of these things. Someone asked me how many times I'd ever worked doing things, and it's roughly between 3,000 and 4,000 shows that I've done. And so people always say, what's your favorite thing? Well, out of that many, it's hard to pick a favorite. Fan favorite is a Goofy movie, without a doubt. That's what I get asked more anything, which was how I met Jason, and it was a fantastic film that is actually, I can even mention it now because they have a documentary on the making of a Goofy movie that is coming out, and I don't know where or when, but keep looking in your local listings, friends. I didn't know that they were like filming us when we did this, and a lot of stuff exists that I had no idea about. But when you're doing a job, you don't get a sense of how the product is going to come out until you see it. Because all we have, a lot of people think we're watching it and adding voices. No, you do the voices first. We just have a script, a microphone, listening to the director saying, okay, now Mickey's like flying in a balloon, and you're, talking to him and telling him that, the dragon's coming to get you, or whatever the scene is. And you just do this stuff, but until you see it on television, you don't get a sense of what the show's really like. So as far as the, Once Upon a Studio, it was amazing what they were able to do. And all of the original, like the genie in that was Robin Williams. It was some outtakes that they had. Then they used, but his real voice. So they used as many real voices as they could on that. And it's a great product, I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Who's up next?
Hello. So y'all have this entire kingdom and all these fans. Has it sunk in yet that y'all are all three legends?
Great question.
Has it sunk in that you're a legend?
Bill's the only
Yeah,
official
He's the
legend.
official legend, like hands in cement and a plaque. On
But
the,
they
on the
don't
lot.
give any paycheck with that. So
But you must have gotten fanfare and confetti at that point.
a little bit, yes. I
There you
threw
go.
it up
Finally,
myself.
confetti.
He gets to have lunch with Oprah now as a result of that.
Oh
There you
yeah, I got to meet her. So yeah, she didn't talk to me that much. But no, she was delightful.
Knowing Bill as long as I have, like nothing is phased him. He's still the same human being, and I know that he appreciates that. You're a legend before you're a
I'm
legend.
still a goof.
Still a goof.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. All right, who we got next? How you doing?
Love you guys. Hi, good to see you. Bill, I got a question for you in particular. You were on a podcast not too long ago, Jim Cummings. You were there with Rob Paulson, great guys, titans of the industry. You mentioned that you have what you like to call the goofy curse, and you've got hilarious things that have happened to you. Do you mind telling these good people a great story of your goofy curse?
Well, I just blame every stupid thing I do on goofing. And there's been a couple of things that have happened that I think I had a lot to do. For example, I was in the studio once. I had a Coca-Cola, and I set it down, but just on the edge of a table, and it started falling, the bottle of Coke, and I grabbed it, and I hit the neck, and it spun over a $200,000 board, audio board.
Yikes.
And the engineer's like going, ah! That kind of thing. And I said, it's goofy. What do you expect? Or if I know that if I ever get stopped by the highway patrol, I'm, what do you expect? I'm goofy. See if that gets me out of trouble. I don't know.
Thank you
Love
so
it.
much. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Who's up next?
Sorry, my voice. Hi, it's so good to see you all again. Especially, I just want to say a couple things. First, I want to say thank you to Jason and Bill for giving me a wonderful childhood full of laughs. And you don't know this, but I actually have a computer game that it has you guys voicing it called Extremely Goofy Skateboarding, which I have played it so many times. I love it.
Did we get a residual check?
I can't remember. I don't think I worked with you on that.
I
think it was by
remember.
myself.
I remember Bill used to say credits. And
What was it called?
Extremely Goofy Skateboarding on PC.
Yeah, like I say, you do like a bunch of these things, and I just forget unless there's so many movies. I have to go to my IMDb movie page.
Well, I love you guys, like-
I can't remember this stuff anymore.
Well, I loved you guys like Jason Step by Step, Full House, all that stuff, and Goofy, especially where you, even Mickey had to ask you to take him to the airport, 6 a.m. and all that stuff. Anyway, I have a really, it's kind of like a weird question, but this actually comes from my mom. She loves Goofy movie, and so do I. During like the scene you guys did in toward the end, when you were at the Powerline concert, and you guys did Eye to Eye.
Yes.
Well, this part has kind of two parts. The first part is when you guys did that. I noticed at the end you guys took.
You've already exceeded your question, but keep going. That's fine.
I noticed at the end when you guys did the little ending part where y'all had your backs turned. Did y'all take that from Goof Troop, like when they do the theme song?
You know that actually wasn't us. Right, that was the animated characters.
I know, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
When y'all
So
do
that would be, I don't know, I have to borrow that from...
I had to wear a suit, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, so part
my
two,
ears.
and then part two, it's for my mom. She wants to know when you guys are not recording anything, you're like on a happy day or like, you guys ever try to do some of the songs in real life, like Eye to Eye or Stand Out or whatever?
I call Bill every first Thursday of the month to sing those songs with him.
There you go.
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you to your mom.
Hi, so I've been to Disney World and I got like nieces and nephews who go like meet the characters. You just see their faces light up. I just wondered if you guys ever gone like to Disneyland, like just dressed up as the characters, just to see people's reactions and when they get to see them.
Occasionally, I have in like Pirates of the Caribbean. I remember once, you know, it was toward the end of the day, and there's this little girl that was in her dad's arms, and she's kind of crying and acting. She was tired, you know. And Dad's like, "We're gonna see every darn ride in this place," you know? And she was like, so I just kind of to myself, "Oh, Shelby," and she, "Goofy, yeah, Goofy's here." And, "Shut up, go to sleep." That's about as I don't normally do that. I will whisper to the guys in the costumes, "Gosh, I'm your voice." And never in 37 years has anyone broken character and talked back, because they're not supposed to in the costumes. And they'll get me backstage and then talk to me, but never have they broken character. And it's like they'll go, "Oh," and you know, that kind of thing. But have you ever done
what
that?
are you talking about? Costumes? They're real, Bill.
They are?
Yeah. Talking about costumes. I, unlike Bill, respect my role too much to do that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The thing that's interesting about Mickey, especially when it comes to anyone in the entertainment side of Disneyland, is those performers, those characters, get people doing impressions all day long.
Oh, I bet they do.
So everyone always asks, "Have you ever done that for Mickey?" And I have when I've been introduced specifically to them, but I'm afraid if I was ever just to do it on my own, like him, like, "I'm your voice," they'd be like, "Cool." And to Bill's point, if they don't break character, how do you know they're really impressed?
That's true. They might just be another one. Good point.
I have had on occasion a chance to do some live performances though with that side of the business, and it's really cool to be able to watch people react to the characters, because to your point, it's something very special to have that interaction with them.
Right.
I did recently. My girlfriend and I go to Disney World like every year. I love the Food and Wine Fest, and yeah, Food and Wine Fest, yes. And I'm kind of, you know, I'm over taking pictures with the characters. I'm an adult. She still takes it super hard. So I'll go with her, and she's like, "There's your dad." I'm like, "All right." So, and it's on my TikTok. She's all the popular TikToks are her idea. So I wait in line and I go up to Goofy, I'm like, "Oh, Dad, you know, thanks for taking me to Lester's Boston Park. That's my favorite part." And Goofy was like, "That's great. Come over here." That's great. Smile. Yeah. But then that video went viral, and I don't know if people contacted the real Goofy.
Exactly.
Yes. But the people on the receiving end of the TikTok seem to get a kick out of it. So yeah, every so often.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your question. All right, guys, in the interest of time, we have only one more question for this panel, okay?
I have a question for Bill Farmer, and my name is Carson Brock. I'm also from Dallas, but coming from a state where we represent a farming community. I bet you know where this is going. When are we gonna get more of Amphibia?
Oh, hello, doing Hop Pop. He's a nice Texas character. And
What? Represent!
say what?
I love Amphibia, and I know that and the Owl House are some of the greatest TV.
He was saying he loves you, Amphibia. You are great in that show.
It was a great character, and the nice thing about that, stepping into the role of Goofy, Goofy's been around since 1932, so you're matching what was done before and then adding your spin to it. Amphibia, I got to come up with a voice, and originally he was much more of a Southern gentleman kind of a thing. But by the time the show came around, we figured, no, like the Texas thing, and so it was more like that.
And also, I really connected with the Goofy movie because I haven't seen my dad in years, but I know having Goofy as a father would be the best, because it was always just my mom and I for the years going forward. And if I had to pick any Disney character as a dad, it would be Goofy, because I know even though he's a total goofball, he still was very much cared and like for Max, and that's why I relate well with Max and the Goofy movie in that part of the way, because
Yeah, that was when we did that. My real son was about 5 years old, and I think it screwed him up for about 20 years because it's like people would come up. Oh, is Jason your brother? Is Max your brother? Is Goofy your dad? And you go, I didn't think I had a brother. It messed him up for years.
Well, all right then. That is all the time that we got here, Alada. Thank you so much to our awesome guests. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Legends, as we have said before. Thank you so much to you guys here in the panel for all your questions, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Give it up one last time.
If you didn't get a chance to ask us a question, come to our table and ask us
Yeah,
for
we'll be
Facebook.
over there, so come on over and say hi.
Thank you,
Absolutely. All of them
Nostalgiacon.
will be on the guest side of the convention, so make sure you stop by.
Take it.
Thank you so much, guys. Great rest of the time.